What's up, guys? This is my Yosenju-Kaiju deck profile for Yu-Gi-Oh! Decided to make this because, like, honestly, it seems to be doing pretty decent. Um, Honestly, want to take this to, like, see how far I go with, like, Master Duel. But, just something to, like, I thought I'd play around with. So, for the monster lineup, 3 copies of Yosenju, 2, 3 copies of Yosenju, 1. Sorry if that's a little non chronological order there because of the numbers, har har. But no, you want to play like 3 copies of each because like 3 of each is pretty standard. You want to see these in your hand as like soon as possible because especially with like 2 and 3 because 2 and 3 like 2 can attack directly, 3 gets the search. Yeah, for kaiju's, I'm running 3 Dog Run, the Mad Flame Kaiju, and 3 Raiden. I mean, honestly, you can run like whatever Kaijus, just as long as 2 of them make the same attack, and you should be good. It doesn't really matter as long as you got one to like either beat over the other, or you do the Yosenju thing, and you basically bounce back the Kaiju back to your hand. So it's a matter of like doing a lot of like sacking your opponent's stuff away, which gets around unaffected by card effects and gets around like can't be destroyed because it is not destroying, it is being sacked. So yeah, this deck I feel like could be pretty annoying. Some people might find it that way. And the only hand trap I'm running is 3 copies of Droll. I mean, honestly, like you don't want the opponent like getting a major like really really like big on the board. Like the issue that this deck falls like one of the weakness is would be like the fact that kaijus can only sack one monster at a time. So the thing is like the reason why I'm running like Droll is because like Droll, we want to stop like them from getting too much, so that way it's easy to sack away their stuff. And yeah, after the 2 of those, we got 2 copies of this guy Yosenju Sabu, 2 copies of Sabu, and 2 copies of Yosenju Izna. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I mean, they're okay. It's filler. Like it helps get it's a little bit more consistency. You don't want to just rely on the comma pieces. Yosenju commas 1, 2, and 3. Now you'll notice there's no pendulum scales. I don't think you don't really need the pen scales simply because we don't really need to rely on the big like pendulum monster for one. And 2, we're not really this deck currently doesn't really utilize an extra deck. Pot of Extravagance is still hit. So like and any like pot card that basically utilizes banish any of the 2. Let's see, Pot of Extravagance and then Pot of Prosperity. I believe that's it. But yeah. So anyways, off to the spells. This is just my personal take. Um, you know, for 3 ofs, we got 3 copies. Obviously, standard, pretty standard for Yosenju lineup. Yosen Training Ground. Yosen Training Grounds is if anyone here has played Six Samurai, this is essentially the gateway, in a way. But like, seriously though, helps you get to your other pieces pretty well. We're running 3 copies of Tenki, Fire Formation Tenki. Tenki searches any comma pieces that you're missing. Free search. For our 2 ofs, we're running 2 copies of Yosen Whirlwind. Yosen Whirlwind, mainly because like can really get funny with like the kaijus because like you bounce back a Yosenju trigger, bounce the kaiju, and it actually goes back to my hand. So 2 ofs because we don't want to see this like consistently, like you know 2 copies of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Honestly, I'm debating on like putting this 3, but I don't know. I feel like 2 is alright, in my opinion. And because this deck falls prone to like back row, Yeah, she could probably utilize Lightning Storm. But for now, I'm just going to run Twin Twisters. Just because, like, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the S Lightning Storm is inherently better. If you want to use Lightning Storm, if you want to, spend money. I don't know if Lightning Storm is still pricey, but I think it is. But, if it is, and you don't want to spend that much, I'd probably pick up Twin Twisters. Or something, just to deal with back row. Harpy's Feather Duster, even though it's limited to one. I mean, so. Off to our traps, pretty basic. 3, Drowning Mirror Forces. This card actually really comes up because, like, your Senjus will bounce themselves back to the hand, right? And your Kaiju monster is basically, like, what's preventing your opponent from just attacking you all out. So, if your opponent clears your Kaiju, like, beats it or, like, plays a spell and destroys it, or like banishes it or whatever, then you have like these that are just like, okay, so I have no monsters, so yeah. And it's funny when the opponent attacks with like a Kaiju that you summon, because this brings it back to your deck when you play this. So lastly, we got 2 copies of Torrential Tribute. Oh my god, he's playing Torrential Tribute. Who plays that anymore? Well, when I don't really care about monsters on my field, see, the point of this deck is literally I'm going to play some, a decent amount of damage on board. And if you do this right, you can actually OTK. If you get the full, like, board. I've actually OTK'd with this deck before, to be honest with you. So, anyways, that's my Yosenju-Kaiju deck. Let me know what you think, guys. So.